Well, I can see the rain coming, but there ain't nobody running, just standing strong and speaking truth. 'Cause this the revolutionary youth, and soon the whole world be watching this, and one by one they'll join in. The corporate media is scared as shit, 'cause this is the 99%.
Hi, I'm Lotus, and I'm just here to make the world a better place. And I mean, it's us, not them. They're taking control of our world. This is our world.
We're here to support the people occupying Wall Street in New York, and we want to show them that they're not alone. We want to get this out on YouTube wherever we can. HILO supports them. We want more and more people to support them. We need to change the way our money system works. The banks need to be taken back a notch. We need banks that work as banks in a local system. We don't need investment banks like this Merrill Lynch here.
I'm just super excited to see the big turnout here for, little HILO. It really shows what a difference everyone can make, and it's all over, everywhere. Not just Wall Street.
It's time. It's showtime, and our wake-up call is here, and we need to get together and not just believe that we're powerless and hope for the best and hope it won't get too much worse. The wake-up call is here.
I just don't think that very many Americans know that the Federal Reserve Board is not the United States government. It's a group of private banking that's actually ruining our country. They print money for us and then charge us huge amounts of interest to do that. And our federal government can do it just as well. And I really believe that we should abolish the Federal Reserve Board and get back to America controlling America.
Both Democrats and Republicans are giving trillions of dollars away to these big CEOs. They're ripping us off with taxpayers. We don't get anything. These criminals took our money and none of them's going to jail. We need accountability. We need to get those guys off the street.
Stop fearing. It's all about fear, Stop fearing. Get over fear. Love. Love is what's going to bring us out of this. So everybody, love somebody. Show your love. Be kind. Be gentle. Treat everybody as your neighbor, and do unto your neighbor as you would yourself. Follow the golden rule. Don't do anybody that you wouldn't want to do unto us. And we're going to continually, peacefully protest and occupy till we bring down the corporate giant.
Well, you know what? It started on Wall Street, but it's gonna end on your street. Hey, what you gonna do when the revolution comes to you? Well, if you ain't doing anything, you're on the wrong side of history. Well, there really ain't no mystery what's gonna happen next, 'cause I can see the rain coming, but there ain't nobody running, just standing strong and speaking truth. 'Cause it's the revolutionary youth, and soon the whole world be watching this, and one by one they'll join in. The corporate media is scared as shit. They fuck with the 99%. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, oh. Well, like Bobby said, these times are changing. Yeah, once again, we are rearranging. The oligarchy's power's fading. The paradigm is ending. When those officers came to lay down their guns and say, you know what, we were wrong. Now we come to sing your song. Yeah.
HILO HAWAII Oct for bringing us together in the spirit of peace and aloha. At the belly of the monster, Merrill Lynch, who represents corporate greed throughout this country and throughout the world. We are here representing those who need justice, the working people, poor people, an end to all wars, and we ask you to help kokua the world, for this greed cannot continue. thank all of you for being here in the spirit of peace and aloha, and send all these greedy buggers to jail where they belong. If not,
I can see the rain coming. There ain't nobody running. Standing strong and speaking truth. 'Cause it's the revolutionary youth. And soon the whole world be watching this. And one by one they'll join in. The corporate media's scared as shit. They fuck with the 99%.
You ever heard of the 100th monkey theory? It's like when consciousness gets to a certain point, it's based on this thing that happened on these islands. Where these monkeys were on these different islands. They were close together, and one monkey started using a tool to like get a certain kind of fruit that you couldn't get, and he started cracking the shell so they could get the fruit. No connection with the other monkeys on any of the other islands, and then one day it just started happening on all the islands at once. All the monkeys just started picking up tools and doing the same thing. And this is happening now.
Well, we gathered here today in HILO in support of the Wall Street protests. We're here not only because our freedom is on the line, but because there's so much suffering in the world. And the top 1% is controlling most of the wealth, most of the resources, forming the policies that are turning the globe into an unfree world. And the other 99% are struggling. Most are, having trouble making ends meet. And so we're wanting that to become a fair system and to get the corruption corrected. There's many homeless, there's many hungry. The students are so indebted, they've gotten even up over $200,000 in student loans, and they were promised that if they paid for a good education, there'd be jobs for them, and now there's no jobs for them. And we shipped all the jobs out to third world countries to get cheap labor, and sometimes child labor and slave labor. So that has to stop. And we need to bring the manufacturing back here, and we can make products that are eco-friendly and help the people's needs and enhance life. And also people that were victims of fraud with the predatory lending of the banks, they got them into mortgages that they weren't able to carry because they were over-lending. And so people are losing their homes. We also know about the homeless, and we know about the hungry, and we know about people without health care. So we need corrections in the system, but we're not calling for a control system of socialism that keeps the money with the ruling elite in their palaces and their yachts and their jet planes, and the rest of the population in a slave class. We're calling for local management of our lives, and we're calling for an end to the police state, where our Bill of Rights is being shredded, the Constitution's being shredded. We're also here, in the islands, our situation is a little bit layered because we support Hawaiian sovereignty. So while we're standing up for all nations' sovereignty, we also recognize we're in an occupied nation. So basically today is about ending the Fed, the Federal Reserve, which was presented to the people as a governmental institution when it's actually a privately owned bank. Banks that have been pulling the strings for over a century, and they're selling out the people, and they want the Treasury returned to the people, and we want government to get off our backs. They have their place, but it's not about controlling, and it's not about stealing from us. We don't mind reasonable taxes to help with roads, libraries, hospitals, but they're stealing now with unreasonable taxes, and the wage is way too low. You have people working 2 jobs, and they can't feed their families. So, and then you have others that own 5 cars and 10 houses, and something has to be corrected. I'm all for the free market. I'm not for predatory capitalism, but I'm for a free market, but it doesn't have to be at the expense of other human beings. So thank you for taking the time to record this. I hope we made a difference today. It's wonderful to come out here and be together, but the main thing is to end suffering. We're on a downward spiral, and it's got to turn around. So bless you, and thank you.
Well, I'm very happy today because we really got a good turnout to support all those people in New York. There has been such suffering over there, but they're still hanging in there, and they need support from all of us. And I understand that this is happening all over the continent and even the world right now. I'm just not ready to be run by an organization outside of the United States. I want to be and remain a sovereign nation, and I want to have a say in my future. And I also think that anyone that has come out today is in support of their own freedom and their own well-being. And I'm sorry to see such suffering going on in this world today because of the economics. Just think of it, what Bank of America is charging money for debit now, and they're trying to set a precedent so all the other banks will charge a certain amount of money on something that is so fruitful for people to help them instead of carrying cash around and worrying about accounts. And also just banks in general are so greedy after we bailed them out. They're throwing people out of their homes. Something is awfully wrong here. I don't like corporations that are coming in and buying off all our politicians. They're so entrenched that they don't know the difference between good and bad. Their ethics are out way out. And I'm sure there's a lot more in my brain right now, but it's been a long day. Been from 5:30 this morning working and then coming over here for a couple hours, but I am so up right now. I just thank you so much for being here yourself. Aloha.
I'm here to show support for the kids on Wall Street, and what they're doing, you know, is standing up for us. 99% of the people are who we are. The 1%er have all the wealth. Through the banking regulations and the different laws, they have managed to accumulate the money and the real wealth, which is the property. So they set up these phony loans and they build them up to the point where everybody has all of this debt, and then the bankers come along and they foreclose because they know the money is useless, and they take the real value of the properties, and then they build it up, and then the bubble bursts, and then they build it up. Well, this time the bubble has completely bust. There is no return. There is no recovery from this economy. And there's two things that we must do as a nation. Number one is the banks cannot lend any more money than they have. They have to live within their own income, their own money reserve. No more actuary loans. It was up to 333%, and 3 months ago, Obama made it infinite. So a bank can now loan infinite amount of money. And number two is that we just have to make a simple law that that our country cannot borrow money, that they have to live within the means of the money they have. And that's why I'm here to hopefully over the next 5 years implement these simple changes that will make us be the most prosperous country and the most prosperous world.
So if you can sign up on our website to be in touch for further steps, it's malu-aina.org, malu-aina.org. The lower right of the main page is a sign-up sheet. So please do that so we can keep together for the further steps.